Distance learning curricula in cloud computing, virtual cloud network, content prepared by Frane Urem. Good afternoon and welcome to the cloud computing course. This course was developed as a result of the Erasmus Plus project Codein. All you need for learning is internet access and a computer. The course contains a total of 10 topics, and in this topic, we will say something more about the virtual cloud network. Classless interdomain routing, CIDR, is a method for allocating IP addresses and for IP routing. By such marking, it is possible to divide the traffic within one group of IP addresses into several subnets that do not interfere with each other. As analogy, imagine a single room. In this room, there are 5 different groups of people. Now imagine the single room being separated into 5 smaller rooms. Each group has its own room with a door and can communicate without competing with the other groups. Each person can hear and concentrate better and more easily keep confidential information within the group. The logic of setting up subnets starts from real needs. For example, imagine that you're arranging an office building and you need to decide whether you need a lot of small offices or just a few large co-working spaces for many people. If we need to accommodate many instances in the subnet, we will increase the number of bits for hosts. Otherwise, if we need a larger grouping of instances, we will increase the number of network bits. A virtual cloud network, or VCN, is a software-defined private network you set up in the cloud. Cloud resources such as compute instances are located within a private network to communicate securely with the internet, others, or non-on-premises data centers. Each additional resource added to the VCN is assigned a private IP address from its address pool. You can also further organize instances by using subnets. For example, we can mention the case where you want to isolate servers with databases so that they cannot be accessed over the internet, but they communicate internally with web servers that are accessible over the internet. Common business scenarios involve the use of 2 types of internet gateways. The first is the so-called internet gateway, through which instances with public IP addresses are available. For example, web servers registered in the public DNS space. However, instances that remain in the private IP address space will still sometimes need internet access, for example, for upgrades. Such instances use the so-called network address translation, or NAT, internet access method, where all outgoing traffic is allowed and connections initiated from the internet are blocked by default. Imagine a case where you have the infrastructure of 2 companies you set up within the same region and want them to exchange data. You may also want to place backup infrastructure in another region to be resilient against major natural disasters, such as earthquakes. In such and similar cases, VCNs are interconnected with the so-called peering connections. It is common in a real business environment that any part of the network must have access rights to specific information resources. VCN cloud networks regulate such rules by the so-called security lists. In the specific example, the security list allows all incoming traffic from the Internet Gateway to TCP port 80 web service. At the same time, It allows local traffic between private addresses on TCP port 1521, required for the internal web server to communicate with the database. To complete this unit, study and review the following online resources. Thank you for attention.